We all sometimes need an unscheduled day of leisure from work, but unfortunately, our workplaces would not allow this. Employees have, with time, perfected the act of coming up with excuses to get out of reporting for work. From calling in sick to a recent death in the family, Anthony Jackson reports on how today's employees are pulling one over their employers.
It may start innocently enough. First, a sniff, and before you know it, you've been knocked out cold in bed. But while your body may be begging you to stay at home, those pals on your decks and your boss are suggesting otherwise. Some decide to power through and report at work, while others will pick up their phones and request for time off. But not every call from an employee asking for time off due to ill health is true.
I can't come to work because I have personal issue I'm dealing with, and immediately somebody says it's personal. You don't want to intrude their privacy, so you tend to just say, okay, no problem, you deal with it. Or I have to help my wife with an interview she's going to. Can I be absent today?
Taking time off is tricky business, especially when it's an unplanned day like a sick one. While there's no guarantee employers will believe you're better off at home, employees have over time perfected the act of lying without the possibility of any blowbacks.
Hey, it's Natalie.
The person will just come to the office and look funny, like the sad look. And then all of a sudden the person will say, oh, I'm not well. She knows herself very well. I'm not well. But the person will still be around. So you should know that the next day, no, she's not coming to work.
You feign illness. Maybe a week to time, you start acting like there's something wrong. When there's nothing wrong.
Well, we can call it excuses. Maybe they are not really excuses. Maybe they are the truth. Because sometimes the body too needs rest. And sometimes you just need to sleep and get enough rest so that you can come back to work and feel refreshed.
But how does an employer sniff through these well-crafted lies and determine which employee is being honest?
I usually check for consistency. So in marking absences, sometimes you can notice a pattern where, let's say, employees are constantly sick on Mondays or after a holiday, before a holiday. Then you can see, okay, how come Kwesi is constantly sick on Mondays? So you call in Kwesi and you show them that you've noticed a pattern. So the next time it's a Monday, you try and tell them no.
Calling in sick may be too risky, but the ever-so-smart employee has other excuses in the bag of tricks. A recent death in the family, a family emergency, and even flooding during the rainy season are several of the excuses that pop up in the world of work.
The excuses become a lot usually during the rainy season, especially. In the moment it becomes cloudy, a lot of people will say maybe, it rained in their houses.
My dad is sick, or I just had an emergency from home. I have to go rush back home.
One may easily get away with this, but in the long run, productivity is affected.
At the end of the day, deadlines are not being met. And let's say, for example, you're working in a team. It means your team has to put in extra effort to cover up for you. But we do realize that sometimes, let's say, depending on the job that is being done, there's some seasons that are definitely heavier than others, depending on the job that the employee is doing. So I think it's up to the employers to also realize it, because immediately the employer doesn't realize that the work is becoming too much, and even grant, let's say, you can be able to come in late today because you worked overtime yesterday night. So they come up with these excuses.
Employers in the long run may be bearing the brunt of workers' impromptu day offs, but should the time spent at work be reduced?